Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you.
Now entering the game for Philly Pressbox Radio, Bill Furman and Jim Chet Chesko.
It's Thursday, July 31st, 2025. It's trade deadline day for the Major League Baseball and the Phillies. The Philadelphia Eagles are still Super Bowl champions. The Phillies are battling for first place. They went all in the trade deadline, and we have plenty to talk about today in Philly sports. Chet, what do you think?
Hello, Bill. First of all, tell people where the hell you are.
I am in a hotel room in just outside Chicago in Rosemount, Illinois, for the National Memorabilia Convention. It has been actually started last night from 3 to 8 all day today. It is absolutely chaos. There might be 100,000 people here.
Oh, wow. Well, so yeah, I know you're aware of what's going on, but the Phillies did make a couple of moves. They made the one big one yesterday, acquiring a new closer, and he is going to be the closer, and hopefully people will get used to saying his name, Jhoan Duran. That's Jhoan Duran. They gave up Mick Abel and catching prospect Eduardo Tait. And then today, they got that outfielder that everybody was desiring. Maybe not the slugger that everybody wanted, but they did get an outfielder. They got another guy from the Twins. That would be Harrison Bader, who this year is hitting .258 with 12 homers and 38 RBI. He's got some good speed, but he does strike out a lot. We'll see where he fits in. We're going to talk about those two acquisitions over the next 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah, did the Phillies talk about what kind of roster moves they're going to make here? They've got to make some space, and they didn't give up big league players. So
yeah,
what are they planning to do? Do we know?
I have not heard yet. I mean, certainly there's going to be something with the outfield. It's going to be either Johan Rojas or Max Kepler, you would think, as the odd man out, because Harrison Bader is probably going to play a lot. And the interesting thing about Bader, as I put up a little graphic of him, is the fact that he's a right-handed bat, which is the more preferable thing, but he actually hits right-handers better than he does left-handers. So it's kind of the reverse split, and we'll see what that means as far as playing time for him and for Brad Marsh. But yeah, I think Rojas and or Kepler will be seeing a lot less time, or maybe one of them not even on the big league roster anymore.
Yeah, well, I think Marsh is, heck, he's one of the hottest hitters, if not the hottest hitter on the club.
Yeah, he's staying.
If anything, he's going to get that center field job, and it's going to be his until he loses it. I think the action's going to be over in left field, which is probably what's going to make Johan Rojas be the odd man out in my mind.
Huh. Hey, what's going on here? We got this from Robbie, not on her Facebook again. So I don't know what's going on, Bill, because, it should be pegged to Facebook, but Robbie said it's not. So I don't know.
I don't know. And I think when Robbie had that problem last week, but I think it got fixed during the show. I don't know if there's a connection issue or what that is.
Well, thank God we have YouTube, because we do have a lot of people watching, we know, via YouTube. And Bob Moser said he loves your shirt, Bill.
Thank you. This is actually this was given to me by my buddy Chip Brady a few years ago. This was a Lamar Jackson quote, and being an old ball coach, Chip knew that this is something that I would definitely like. So yeah, we're today at the show. Hey, we have a great guest going to join us in the second part of the show. Chuck Brodsky is going to be back. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, we had Chuck Brodsky on the show last November. I interviewed him then, because I met him indirectly, I guess, through Eric Gray, another guy we had on the show about a year and a half ago or so, an author. So they were friendly. They're both big music lovers. Chuck plays music. He is a singer-songwriter, a longtime Phillies fan. His father still lives, mother and father still live in the Philly area. But Chuck is now down in Asheville, North Carolina, and he goes to spring training every year. So I finally get to meet him in person. this past March when I was down in Clearwater. But he's been a longtime supporter of Dick Allen getting in the Hall of Fame. And he's friendly with Jason Stark, who, as you know, has been on our show many times. And with a little bit of help from Jason, the Phillies asked Chuck if he would sing his song Letters in the Dirt about Dick Allen during the weekend festivities in Cooperstown. So they had a Phillies celebration on Saturday, and Chuck got to sing there. Had a great, time doing that. Got, a great reception, and he was pretty excited to do it. This is, I think, his fourth time being at the Hall of Fame and performing there. So it was extra special, though, because it was in connection with Dick Allen, his childhood hero, going into the Hall of Fame. So we're going to have a chat with him later.
Now, you have a lot of friends in the music business, and just be sure I didn't get my wires crossed. Is Chuck also the one that had a recent event with Sandy Koufax, or was that someone else?
That is a great question. The mind is playing tricks on me because I can't remember either. But I don't remember. But I know somebody did post about Sandy Koufax.
Yeah.
Son of a gun.
Yeah, there you go.
Have to look into that.
So as we talk about the trade deadline, the Mets were very active, and they went all in, it appears, and they gave up a lot of prospects. It looks like on paper. What do you make of that? Is this the year? I mean, the Mets paid what's his name, $700 million. They're thinking they better win.
Yeah, Soto.
Juan Soto.
And now they've got a center fielder, Cedric Mullins from the Orioles, and they got a lot of relief help as well. First of all, they picked up last weekend Gregory Soto, the former Philly, from the Orioles. And now today they got reliever Ryan Helsley from St. Louis. He was a hot commodity over the last couple of days. And a setup man, Tyler Rogers from San Diego. So, the Mets made a lot of moves. And speaking of San Diego, the Padres, who are also, of course, very much in the playoff hunt, the wild card hunt, they made a ton of moves as well. They got the hotly desired closer, Mason Miller from the Athletics. They also got a starting pitcher, J.P. Sears from the A's. They got a couple of guys from the Orioles. The Orioles really cleaned house. Outfielder Ramon Laureano going from Baltimore to San Diego, and a guy who's a utility man and a designated hitter. In fact, he will be the DH for San Diego, Ryan O'Hearn, who was in the All-Star game this year from Baltimore. He now will be the Padres DH. So, San Diego making a lot of win-now kind of moves, and they, too, had to give up a lot for those guys.
Yeah, and I tell you that Cedric Mullins, he's a good player. My guys, Chip and his son Ryan and all are here, and they're Oriole guys. They're huge Cedric Mullins fans. Mullins can play. He's a really good defensive player. He can run the bases. He can hit for power. His average has been way down, but he's heated up here in the last few weeks, and they kind of felt like he was going to be on the move somewhere. The same with O'Hearn, but Laureano was one that they were not happy that they let go. And as you said, it was kind of a full house cleaning, and they hit it hard.
Yeah. A lot of deals today, very, very many. The Phillies did make one very minor deal right at the deadline at 6 o'clock. Some single A guy, I think they picked up from somewhere. So nobody to worry about for the next couple of years anyway. But let's talk a little bit more about the two guys they did get, and particularly the new closer, Jhoan Duran. He is going to be the guy, according to Dave Dombrowski. And I think Rob Thompson seconded that last night after the deal was made. So it's not going to be, a matchup thing. He's going to be the guy that's going to go in there and get it done. And looking at his statistics here. Yeah, I know. We'll see. 49 games, 49.1 innings, 53 strikeouts, 16 saves, a 2.01 earned run average. And he is arbitration eligible, so the Phillies will have control for the next 2 seasons as well. So, hopefully he will be here not only this year, but the next 2 years as well, and putting the Phillies deep into the postseason.
Didn't I see where he can throw 101, 102, he's a real fireballer that just going to come in and slam the door, line him up and knock him down.
Yeah, not only can he throw 101, 102, he averages 100 miles per hour on his fastball. And from what I heard on the radio today, he's got a curveball that's like 87, 88 miles an hour. So he's gonna be fun to watch. And
yeah, what's
I can't wait.
You got to listen to some of the talk radio and the fans. What's the take on that deal? Philly faithful pretty happy.
Very, very excited. Ricky Batalico loved it. Missinelli loved it. Jack Fritz loved it. Now, as for Harrison Bader, there's a little less enthusiasm about that. They think you're kind of getting similar to what they have now in like a Max Kepler. But Bader this year, not bad, actually. 12 home runs, 38 RBI, and a 258 batting average. His OPS is 778, and his WAR, I know you don't love the WAR thing, but it's plus 2.8. So both OPS, WAR, and some of the other numbers are his best numbers since 2021. So, Bader does give you that, and pretty good fielder. And like I said, he's got some speed, but he does strike out. But yeah, as you said, what does this mean for the roster? Somebody's got to go. And what does it mean for playing time? What does it mean for the lineup, 1 through 9? I guess we'll get some answers on that tomorrow. Yeah,
well, I think the Bader deal is I found interesting. My quick reading, it doesn't look like they gave up 2 guys. It doesn't look like they were very highly rated prospects.
No.
So if you got them, I hate to call it nothing, but they got them for very little. It's certainly worth a try because they need a right-handed bat out in that outfield, maybe with a little pop. What about Nick Abel? I think Nick showed he can pitch in the big leagues, and he went back to Lehigh Valley and pitched really well. It sounds like Painter was off the table. He was not an option, which Abel has actually pitched better than Painter this year. So that's kind of interesting. But maybe Duran wasn't good enough to give up an Abel. I don't know, or not an Abel, a Painter. I wonder how that played out.
Yeah, they said Painter was definitely not on the trade market at all. They were not going to consider trading him. But Abel did show flashes, certainly. But you got to give up quality to get quality. And a lot of people thought that this Joan Duran was, one of the very, very best relievers, closers on the market this year. So the Phillies got him, and Dombrowski and company getting excellent grades from all the experts, like Ken Rosenthal and all the other baseball guys said this is a great move for the Phillies. So we hope they're right. And now you got him as the closer, and then you can go with either Strom or Ryan Kerkering in the 7th and 8th inning, depending on matchups. And Tanner Banks has been, pretty good for the most part. So he will fit in there as well. And there's the X factor, Bill, because in a couple of weeks, we're going to get this guy, Jose Alvarado, back. Now, he won't be eligible for the postseason because of the PED thing, but he will be able to help them from mid-August all the way through the end of September. And, that is something to consider.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they definitely need him. You didn't mention Romano in any of your layout there.
Yeah. I think he's going to be more like a 5th, 6th inning guy, when needed. A pitcher can't get out of the 5th inning or, maybe early in the 6th inning. It's going to be Romano time. I don't think they trust him right now to be a high leverage guy in the 7th or 8th. He hasn't done it for the most part over the last few weeks because the trust just isn't there.
Yeah. Now, Aaron Nola is got to be close to coming back pretty soon. Yep. I assume that means Taijuan Walker is going to go to the bullpen. Taijuan Walker, has taken an awful lot of heat in this town, but I'm gonna say the last few times out, he's put them in positions to win, and they didn't win, and it was not Taijuan Walker's fault.
Yeah, absolutely right. The last 2 times out, I think he's given up 2 runs in his 6 or so innings on both occasions. The other night, it was certainly not his fault. It was Max Lazar and the trade or the onslaught of relievers after that who gave up those 7 runs in that 7th or 8th inning in Chicago. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Taijuan Walker. How will he be used once Nola is back? I don't think he's a setup guy. I don't think he's a high leverage reliever kind of guy. He might just get kind of buried on the bench unless you need a spot start or something like that, or a guy gets knocked out, in the second or third inning. So, but yeah, Taiwan has been actually very serviceable this year. So can't really put any blame on him.
Yeah. And, I think as you get down the stretch, maybe you find a place for him where you can use him if he's getting guys out,
I hear you. And I also haven't heard an update lately on Alec Boehm as far as how soon he might be back in action. So we're going to need to get a lot of updates this weekend, Bill. Nola, Boehm, how soon Alvarado will be ready once he's eligible. A lot of questions. And then once we get to the postseason, what will the rotation be? Of course, that's going to depend on how well Nola does once he is back. Would it be Luzardo coming out of the pen, come postseason?
And I would think probably that's the case when you're probably not going to go in the playoffs with one right-hander and three left-handers, right? Which would be the case if you didn't use Nola in the postseason. So I don't think Ranger or Sanchez is going to the bullpen. Do you?
No, definitely not. Sanchez is definitely your number 2 starter behind Zach Wheeler. And as long as Ranger Suarez is healthy, I think he's going to be the number 3 guy. There's some concern still about Ranger Suarez, the velocity ticking downward again. Yeah. He's been able to get guys out with it for the most part, but, you just wonder if he's, getting a little tired as the season goes on. You hope his back stays healthy this year. So we'll see. Robbie agrees that she was thinking Taijuan Walker could be the long man and spot start. So, yeah, let's do hope that Nola comes back strong. PJ, you're right.
Yeah, and if they could fit Walker in and get him ready where he could give them an inning, give them a quality inning, whether it's the 6th, the 7th with, as you mentioned, with Strom and Kirkring and Banks, and now with the closer, if he could be another guy, we've talked about this before, when guys can't get through the 5th, all of a sudden they're blowing that game up because their bullpen there's just not good enough. Now all of a sudden maybe you have 2 nights worth of bullpen instead of Kirkring, Strom. Now you can maybe throw Walker out there and Alvarado. Maybe you're a lot better.
By the way, among the other bevy of trades today, the Pirates sending former Phil Bailey Falter to the Kansas City Royals. So he's having a decent season, the lefty.
He has.
Bailey Falter going to Kansas City. And the Cubs, who, of course, are very much in the postseason hunt. They're battling with Milwaukee for the central lead. The Cubs picked up utility man Willie Castro from Minnesota. Boy, the Twins did make a lot of trades. They also got left-hander reliever Taylor Rogers, not to be confused with Tyler Rogers, who the Mets got. Taylor Rogers, who is on his 3rd team in a week. Taylor Rogers started the week with the Pirates, got traded to the Reds a few days ago, and now the Reds shipped him to the Cubs. So there you go.
Interesting. Hey, I asked you earlier before we got on about the Braves, if the Braves made any moves. Their entire pitching staff. I saw a thing.
I saw that graphic. Completely different from April.
Every one of them's on the DL or IL long term. Spencer Strider is not on the IL, but he was on the IL to start the season. So I was wondering if they're just going to mail this season in, go with what they got. Hopefully everybody gets healthy and they're back strong. I don't think anybody expected come August 1st, the Braves are 16 out they're done.
But I don't know what it is with them, but every year they seem to have injury problems, especially with their pitchers. So I don't know. I mean, it's good for the Phillies, but you do hate to see that. But, they're not making the playoffs this year.
Yeah, interesting. Well, I'm looking forward to see how this plays out here come tomorrow because the roster moves, and let's see what this lineup looks like. I think that will be interesting. And I'm sure everybody's going to be excited to see what happens come the 9th inning.
Yeah, I hope the new guy is there and ready to go. It's going to be a big weekend at Citizens Bank Park. They're inducting, of course, Jimmy Rollins and Ed Wade into the Wall of Fame. So they'll be doing that before Friday night's game. And the Tigers, very good team from the AL, although they've been scuffling a bit lately. They're going to provide the opposition, and I'm sure they'll have a great crowd all weekend with, J-Roll and some other longtime Phillies in town for the weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be a big weekend. Hey, I wanted to throw one more thing at you because you probably know the details of this, or you might better than I do. One of our old Phillies, Sir Anthony Dominguez, got traded the other day from the Orioles to the Blue Jays, right? And my understanding is he played the first game at a doubleheader for the Orioles, the second game for the Blue Jays, played in both of them, and actually crossed countries into Canada. Is that how it worked?
I don't know about that latter part, but yeah, he did get traded between games of the doubleheader. So he went from one locker room to the other, waved at his old teammates, as he made the switch. But Sir Anthony is still pitching, and that's hopefully he's doing all right.
But I think that game was in Canada, so he left the trip in the United States, finished the trip in Canada, I believe.
Yeah, could be.
How crazy is that? Hey, before we get to Chuck, let's talk for a minute. We can come back to the Phillies. Tell me what's going on at Eagles camp. I know it's hot as heck. I saw a great quote from Lane Johnson where apparently somebody or bodies, youngsters, showed up late. And Lane Johnson said, "We will have none of that. That's not how we do it here. That's not our culture, and that's not how we operate." And man, I can't be more excited about hearing that.
Well, the Eagles have kind of taken a backseat to the Phillies over the last few days because of the trade deadline. But we've heard that Jalen Hurts has been throwing really well. Very few balls hitting the ground. Devontae Smith has been making some highlight reel catches. That's good to hear. Rookie Jahad Campbell continuing to impress. He's apparently fully healthy the way it looks, and he's already a beast out there. So, boy, that's going to be great to watch him develop as the season goes on. Bill, there's a game tonight. We got a Hall of Fame game. The Lions and Chargers on NBC right after our show. The Eagles play somebody next week.
Yeah, I won't be watching.
I know. I know you don't like preseason.
No. So what's the word on Campbell? Is he restricted in any way, or is he full go at this point?
I don't think he's restricted. He's been practicing now, and they put the pads on the other day. So I think he's going to be fine. And I haven't heard too much. Like I said, the last couple of days, I've been paying more attention to the Phillies and the potential trades. So I'll start paying more attention to the Eagles as we get into, preseason action time, even though most of the good guys aren't going to play anyway.
Yeah. So Kobe Dean is out, right? He's still out for a while. Jeremiah Trotter started out in that spot. And then I guess Campbell is going to battle for that spot. I don't know that there's anybody else on the roster to play that other inside linebacker position.
Yeah, I haven't studied the roster as yet, but Sirianni did say the other day there's going to be lots of competition for any of the spots that are in question. He says it's a daily competition. You got to go out and do your best every day, and hopefully turn some heads.
I agree. Hey, I wanted to ask you too. The story that came out about Jalen Hurts and not putting on his ring. Because that season's over. What do you make of that? I mean, I'll give you a little lead into my thoughts here. Enjoy the ride, right?
I'm with you. I think this whole thing is overdone. It drives me crazy. They're just trying to put it all behind them. Like, okay, we won. Now we got to move ahead. Come on, enjoy it a little bit. It's not going to change how you play once the games actually begin. If I got a ring, I'm putting the ring on. I'm going to admire it. I'm going to show my friends. I understand what they're trying to do, saying, yeah, hey, we did that, but now we're looking ahead and we want to do more and keep winning. But I just think it's a little overdone, their approach to it.
Yeah, I do too. I think, if they had a big party, right? You're there with your boys, all the guys you did this with. And you're all smiles and all that. Put the stinking ring on and enjoy it, right? I mean,
I would.
It makes you wonder, well, did he go home and slip it on, or is he put it in a safe and he's never going to wear it again?
Yeah, is it all an act? I don't know. But hey, I would enjoy it. I'd be celebrating.
Right, absolutely. I just thought that was all a little bit crazy. So, you know how as you mentioned, I'm not a big preseason guy.
Yeah.
People, your guys that you follow up there on them Philly sports radio shows are all over the stats for Jalen Hurts, stats for every quarterback in the league. They're playing in shorts and T-shirts, for God's sake. Stop it.
Yeah, I'm not into the whole preseason stats thing. And that's an Elliott Shore Parks creation, I guess, at WIP. He keeps the stats. It doesn't matter because you don't know what the drills consist of. Are they asking him to throw into traffic just to, get the practice of doing that? You can't keep stats like that and expect them to actually mean anything during practices against your own guys in shorts. Come on.
Right. And some of them are defensive drills and some of them are offensive drills. It's not, it's so meaningless, and it makes me nuts. They've made the whole preseason into something that it's not.
I hear you. Let's move on, Bill.
Yeah. So, what else? You want to talk about Chuck? You want to do that?
I want to talk about the fact that we're on the STT Sports Network, Bill.
Oh my goodness, we are, and you're going to have to help me recite it because I don't have it in front of me.
I thought you had it on your phone or your
hang
iPad.
on, I do. As you know by now, Philly Pressbox Radio is part of the new podcast network, the STT Sports Network, as in Set the Trends. It's a network set up by our pal Phil Stiefel, host of the terrific Trending in the AM show that you can find every weekday morning on the STT Sports Network YouTube channel. Check out Phil. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Phil's show is on there, and so is ours. Yep, you can find Philly Pressbox Radio there, in addition to our own YouTube channel and on our Facebook page. That hasn't changed. Again, it's the STT Sports Network, setting the trends for what sports talk should be.
See that? I knew you could do it.
There you go. Hey, you know what else I can do, Jed?
What's that?
I can ask you what's going on at the Irish Rover Station House, because it is now August tomorrow.
This place, the Irish Rover Station House in beautiful Langhorne, Pennsylvania. One of my favorite places to visit for a beer or two or three, and some terrific food too. The Rover has trivia every Wednesday at 7, dinner specials Thursday through Sunday. They have killer burger Thursdays. They got some burger wars going on right now, as well as Thursday evening specials on Stella and wings. Yeah, after 7 p.m. Thursday, so that's tonight if you're listening live, you can enjoy $9 wings and a big old glass of Stella for just $5. If you have yet to visit, you got to check this place out. It is the Irish Rover Station House, located on Bellevue Avenue in Langhorne, and on the web at irishroverstationhouse.com. Look at that patio. You can go outside, sit on the patio if it's not 100 degrees or not raining like it was today. Check it out, though, the Irish Rover Station House. And with that in mind, I give you this guy.
Hey, everybody, this is Anthony Wolf Liberto from the Burning Sky Band, and you're watching Philly Pressbox Radio with my guys, Bill and Chet. Hope to see you soon at one of our shows.
Yeah, and speaking of which, Anthony's great band, Burning Sky, has a show this Saturday night at Broken Goblet in Bensalem. Terrific venue for a concert, and if you're a Bad Company fan, you will absolutely enjoy seeing and hearing Burning Sky.
Speaking of going to hear some music, didn't you go see your boys Fat Mez again here in the last week or so?
Goodness. Let me tell you, I've had a good week for music. This past Sunday, my buddy Tom and I were down in Wildwood to see Fat Mez at the Mudhen and Station House. It's Mudhen Brewing, and now their new addition is called the Station House. So it's an indoor stage, which was good because there was a little scattered rain showers off and on Sunday. But yeah, Fat Mez packed the joint. They slayed. We stayed the entire 4 hours from 4 p.m. till 8 p.m. Well worth the nearly 2-hour drive to go down to Wildwood to see Fat Mez. Then last night, because we didn't have a show, I was in Northeast Philadelphia seeing a Doors tribute band called Crystal Ship. Back in the 80s, there was a tribute band of the Doors called Crystal Ship. This is a new version of Crystal Ship, which was endorsed by the original version of Crystal Ship. So it's kind of a tribute band to to the Doors. And they packed the place outside the Cannstatter Volksfestverein, the German club, right off of 95 and Academy Road in Northeast Philly. A great night with some great Doors music. So, yeah, that was fun.
Very cool. Well, hey, Hall of Fame weekend 2 in a row. We got the Phillies, we got Dick Allen, we got Billy Wagner, we got Eric Allen coming up this weekend in Canton. Tell us about what happened up there in Cooperstown.
Well, yeah, we got the Baseball Hall of Fame, as you mentioned. We had Dick Allen and Dave Parker and CC Sabathia and Suzuki Ichiro and Billy Wagner all going into the hall. And boy, so glad to see Dick Allen going in. And along those lines, my favorite player as a young'un was Dick Allen. And I talked a couple of hours ago with the guy that you mentioned before, Chuck Brodsky, who was also a huge fan of Richie Dick Allen. And what was real cool for Chuck was that he was invited to take part in the weekend's festivities up in Cooperstown when the Phillies threw a celebratory party on Saturday. So we talked about that and more in our chat just a few hours ago today. Here it is. Very excited to be getting a return visit from this guy. He is a lifelong Phillies fan and a singer-songwriter whom I met through a mutual friend, thanks Eric, last year. Had him on our show last November, got to meet him in person down in Clearwater in March. And here he is back on Philly Pressbox Radio. We say hello once again to Chuck Brodsky. Hey, Chuck.
Hi, Chet. How are you?
Great. Thanks for doing this on relatively short notice. I really appreciate it. Well, Chuck, as you know, I texted you about doing this because you had quite the memorable weekend up in Cooperstown, the site of the 2025 Baseball Hall of Fame inductions. You were there in connection with Dick Allen's induction and got to do something really cool, which we will talk about in just a bit. But first of all, what was it about Richard Anthony Allen that made him your childhood hero, as you called him?
Well, I think as a little kid, I instinctively understood that he was being treated unfairly, and it was because of his race. It took being an adult and having a chance to really read up about him to fully understand this. But like I said, instinctively as a little kid, I knew that things weren't fair. And, he was such a great player, and the fans would boo him. So it just didn't make any sense as a little kid.
Yeah. Now, you were too young, I'm pretty sure, to remember the Phil's 1964 collapse, but I'm sure your wonderful father, Frank, told you plenty about it over the ensuing years. Am I right?
That's for sure. And I actually have a couple of World Series tickets from 1964 that were printed in vain.
There's your dad. So, yeah, you did have tickets for because they did print them, as you said. And, of course, it didn't happen because the Phils blew that 6.5 game lead with 12 to play. Boy, I could only imagine the frustration of your dad and my father and, dads everywhere who remember that so vividly.
Yeah, I've heard people from that generation talk about it. Like you mentioned, I was a little too young to know what was going on at the time, but just a couple years later, I was aware of the collapse.
Well, last weekend, let's get to something more positive. As I know from our conversation last fall, you have been to and performed at the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown on multiple occasions, but how did it come to happen that you would be performing your song about Dick Allen at Saturday's Phillies celebration for that legendary slugger?
Well, the Phillies reached out to me and invited me to sing my song Letters in the Dirt about Dick Allen and about my childhood observations of him being booed and writing Boo in the Dirt. The Phillies invited me to sing that at the party that they had in Cooperstown in honor of Dick Allen's induction to the Hall of Fame. So it was a fantastic party. There were a lot of former players there. The Phillies ownership was there. And the Allen family was there, and some of them even sat at the same table that I sat at. So it was wonderful to be included in such a thing, to get to participate.
Yeah, and by the way, Chuck, our mutual friend Jason Stark, himself a Hall of Famer, mentioned you yesterday on Mike Missinelli's radio show in Philadelphia and said people really did enjoy seeing and hearing you perform on Saturday. Many folks wiping away tears as you sang that song, Letters in the Dirt. Did you notice the audience reaction while you were there singing?
Oh, for sure. I was looking into the eyes of some of the ball players that I grew up watching as a kid, and also looking at the Allen family as I sang, and I could see the reactions. I could hear the reactions. And by the way, Jason was instrumental in Phillies reaching out to me. It was Jason who first contacted them and suggested that maybe they'd want to invite me to sing the song.
Well, we've talked about it. So how about I play a little bit of that performance from last Saturday? As you noted on Facebook, this is part of a cell phone recording. There's going to be a better, higher quality one coming in the days ahead. But here's a little bit of your performance on Saturday.
Me and you, we never booed Richie Allen. I never understood why people did. He had a homer every time he stepped up to the plate. That's what I remember as a kid. Richie in the field out there by first base, like the target of some mighty foul words. With his shoes and sprawl between the pitches. Oh, great big letters in the dirt. Philly fans, they've been known to get nasty. When Joe must go or run him out of town. I saw Santa get hit by a snowball and then get hit again when he was down. Me and you, we never booed Richie Allen. Even if he did sometimes strike out. I was too young to read the papers, to know what all that going was about.
Wow. Chuck, that was great. I really, really enjoyed that. And, you know, the whole video is on your Facebook page. And as you noted in the video that you've posted, you did get to meet Dick Allen 25 or 30 years ago. Tell us about that meeting.
Well, I was invited by the Hall of Fame to do a concert there, one of 3 that I've done over the years. This was the first time. And the director of research at the time, a man by the name of Tim Wiles, let me know that Dick Allen was in town. And suggested he'd probably be staying at the Otesaga Hotel, and thought it might be a good idea for me to drive over there and see if I could leave a copy of the CD with the song on it at the front desk. So I did that. But when I walked in the lobby door, there was Dick Allen in the lobby. So I waited for him to finish the conversation he was in the middle of, and I walked over to him, introduced myself, and told him how I'd grown up watching him play in Philadelphia and that he's my favorite player of all time, and I handed him the CD.
Very cool. And was he, you know, happy about that?
Oh, it was amazing, actually. I looked up at him in time to see a tear roll down his cheek.
That's awesome. Hey, did you stay for the entire weekend up at Cooperstown, including Sunday's induction ceremony?
No, because I was flown to Cooperstown by a friend with a private plane, and he wanted to go to Fenway Park in Boston for a Sunday afternoon game against the Dodgers. So that's what we did. We got up early in the morning on Sunday. We flew to Boston, went to the game, and then afterwards they flew me back to Asheville, North Carolina.
Very cool. And you've probably seen it, but Dick Allen's widow, Willa, gave a really, really nice, touching, heartfelt induction speech for her late husband. So that was great to see. Chuck, anything else stand out from the time that you were in Cooperstown Saturday and early Sunday?
Just the love for Dick Allen and the love for the other players that were enshrined as well. You could feel it.
Well, while I have you, Chuck, although you live down in North Carolina these days, I know you still keep tabs on the current Phillies. They just got themselves a premier closer yesterday. They added an outfield bat today, Harrison Bader from the Twins. What is your take on this year's Phillies heading into the final 2 months of the season?
It's hard to say. I mean, they've addressed a couple of needs. I wasn't aware of the Harrison Bader trade.
Yeah, it just happened.
I'm thrilled about the pickup for the bullpen. We really needed that. If the guys can show some plate discipline and the bullpen holds up, I think they have a chance. I mean, as long as they qualify for the postseason and they go into it riding 2 or 3 hot pitchers, they'll be okay.
Yeah, get hot in September and, hope for the best. Hey, folks, check out Chuck Brodsky's website, chuckbrodsky.com, which is, very convenient. Find out what he's got going on, his music, some concerts that he has on the schedule this fall. And boy, an all-around great guy. And thank you so much for doing this, Chuck. Really appreciate it. And go Phils.
Chet, thanks you for having me, and absolutely go Phils.
There you go.
Yeah, that's really good. I think when we get through here, I am going to go to chuckbrodsky.com and watch the whole song. Good stuff.
Yeah, and he's going to have a professional video version of it. He said, very soon, a few days, maybe next week. I don't know. That was just a cell phone video that I was able to snag from his Facebook page. But yeah, great tune. And that was nice that, Dick Allen got the CD, and just getting the CD, he said he was, moved and teared up a little bit.
Yeah. What a cool honor for Chuck too. I mean, that's,
yeah,
for, I guess Jason was the one behind it, Jason Stark. Cool move by Jason to make that all happen. Very, very neat thing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Hey, Chet, can you imagine what could be better than a summer of Phillies baseball and soon Eagles football tailgating with the best tailgaters in Philadelphia, Bob Cavanaugh and the gang at Cavs Philly Tailgates?
These guys. Yeah. Cavs Philly Tailgates has been cooking up a terrific catering business for some 35 years now. Known best for their tailgate parties, Cavs is a 3-time winner of Philly Tailgate's Jack Daniels Great American Tailgate Party Contest and a past winner of the Philly Daily News Tailgate Award. Cavs also does corporate events, parties, you name it. Of course, Cav hosts tailgates before all Eagles games outside the link. And with Bird's training camp now open, let's start talking about some of the events that are on the schedule. Yes, there will be a tailgate outside the link on September 4th before the Eagles-Cowboys season opener. There will also be tailgate parties before the home games against the Rams, September 21st, and the Broncos, October 5th, too. Get details on all upcoming events at Cavs' website, phillytailgates.com. And if you have questions, you can email them at cavscatering@verizon.net. Cavs Philly Tailgates is the way to go. And hey, Bill, the Eagles regular season opener, September 4th, that is exactly 5 weeks away now, 35 days. So I'm going to mention 2 guys who wore number 35. One of them, of course, very recently, that would be Boston Scott, the Giants killer, who had several terrific games against the boys in blue. And the second one is a Pro Football Hall of Famer, Bill. And I know you admired this guy, even though he might have been just a little before your time. He won 2 NFL championships with the Birds in 1948 and 49. He was a 6-time All-Pro, the legendary Pete Pihos. Bill, you did not see him play in person. Is that correct?
I did not see him play, but he is a legend. People that study the history of the game, Pete Pihos was doing things in the receiver position, tight end type receiver position that no one had even thought about at the time. So all good. Good numbers.
And yeah, hey, I do want to say again, congratulations to the family of Dick Allen, including his widow, Willa Allen, and also to Mark Carfagno, the former Phillies groundskeeper who worked so diligently to keep Dick Allen's name alive and, make sure people knew that he was deserving as an inductee. And, of course, to all the other new Baseball Hall of Fame inductees. Yeah. And I mentioned that Rollins and Ed Wade are going on the Phillies Wall of Fame this weekend. Meanwhile, there will be 4 new members added to the Pro Football Hall of Fame this weekend, including a couple of guys with the last name of Allen. One of those being Eric Allen, who, like Dick, should have gone into the Hall long ago. Man, Eric Allen had a great 14-year pro career, the first 7 of those seasons as an Eagle, and still today, he holds a share of the Birds' career interceptions record with 34, the same number as the great Brian Dawkins and our 5-time Philly Pressbox Radio guest, Bill Bradley. So congratulations to Eric Allen.
Yeah, to get into the Pro Football Hall of Fame these days is darn near impossible.
Yeah.
They while, people criticize the Baseball Hall of Fame, of course, they've got the steroids thing to deal with and all that stuff. The NFL, the Pro Football Hall of Fame has actually made it tougher. They're letting less people in. And there are so many deserving players that if you can get through everything it takes to get through to get into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, you are some sort of special ball player.
Yeah. You are correct, Bill. Hey,
Yeah.
you know what's unfortunate is we keep losing guys that we grew up with in terms of movies and sports. And in the sports world alone, Bill, we lost 3 more since you and I last talked. 3 passings in the sports world over the past week. The first of those, I guess, came last Thursday when we learned that the Hulkster, Hulk Hogan, died just a few weeks shy of his 72nd birthday. Hulk Hogan headlined 8 different WrestleMania events, and we still today see video of Hulk body slamming that 500-pound Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3. He did so much for the WWE in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, and funny about that is that here at the show, Hulk memorabilia is flying off the shelves. It's people are gobbling it up. They can't get enough of the Hulk, and he was him and Ric Flair, probably the greatest entertainers in wrestling, and put it all on the map, like you said. And Hulk and Flair still very popular, and we're really seeing it here in the first couple days of the show.
And, of course, Hulk also got to do lots of acting, including his role in Rocky III and various other movies over the next couple of decades. So rest in peace, Hulkster. Then this one kind of went under the radar over the weekend, but we learned that former boxer Dwight Muhammad Qawi, the former Dwight Braxton, a boxing Hall of Famer who grew up in Camden. He was born in Baltimore, but was raised in Camden. He won both the WBC light heavyweight title and the WBA cruiserweight title in the 1990s. Well, he died last Friday. It didn't come out, though, until Sunday or Monday. The Camden Buzzsaw was 72 years old.
I did not even hear that. I guess I was traveling, and I guess I never heard it. Wow.
Yeah, I saw it on Monday. I said, wait, when did this happen? And I guess it was reported like late Sunday or early Monday, but he actually died last Friday. So, yeah, he was a boxing Hall of Famer. And then, of course, Monday night during the Phillies game, we got the official word about Ryne Sandberg. Man, cancer sucks. Just 65 years old. We know that he started his career as a Philly, just played a couple of games as a rookie with the Phillies before being traded to the Cubs, where he had that legendary career, a Hall of Fame career, 10-time All-Star, and, man, just a great player. Not so good a manager, and that's unfortunately what a lot of young guys will remember. But, man, what a great player. And he was very friendly with Larry Boa. They actually got traded together to the Cubs for Ivan DeJesus.
Yeah. Well, and you mentioned the Phillies game. I was at the Phillies-White Sox game when that was announced here in Chicago. And the White Sox put a big thing up on the board about it. And not that there was a whole lot of fans at the game. But there was definitely a sadness here in Chicago, and here at the show, I've seen 1,000 jerseys, T-shirts, whatever, Ryne Sandberg stuff. Everybody's emptied their closet out here to show their appreciation for what Ryne Sandberg did here in Chicago. What a great player!
Yep. So hopefully we won't have to do a segment every week on.
Seems like it. It seems like it, right?
Those were 3 big ones. 3 big ones right there, Bill.
Yeah.
Hey, let me tell you what's going to happen next week, Bill. We're going to talk more Phillies baseball because, hey, now is the time. They're going to make their move with the new closer and everything. And next week, we are going to have a first-time guest joining us. And I'm struggling to find
first-timer, huh?
A first-timer.
Them guys.
Yeah, boy. Somewhere on here, I have the promo for it. And, there it is. Bill, this is a guy that you actually met kind of by accident a few months back. He told you about his website and podcast. You told him about our Philly Pressbox Radio show. Well, next week, Patrick Gordon will join us live. He's the executive editor of the Philadelphia Baseball Review, which has a lot of great stuff on there. It's a blog and a website. You can also find his twice-weekly podcasts, which are not only about the current day Phillies, but about baseball in general and other related topics. So we're going to get to meet Patrick Gordon.
Yeah, well, and I did get to meet him, and as you mentioned, he was at a family graduation party.
Yeah,
that I was at, and we just got talking, and then somebody said, "Oh yeah, he does this website thing, whatever." And I was like, "Oh, well, let me talk to him." And sure enough, man, he loves to talk ball, and he is all Phillies. He's not a guy that talks about a whole lot of other sports in town, although he's a fan. He's all baseball, and he's all Phillies, and he does college and he does high school too in the area. So he's going to be a lot of fun to talk to.
Yeah, that should be fun. Hey, one other thing about the Phillies, Mike posts, getting the closer is a good thing, but the elephant in the room is the hitting. And somebody on the radio said today that over the last 30 games, the Phillies, they're playing right around 500. And in 15 of those 30 games, they scored 3 or fewer runs.
Yeah.
So you can have all the pitching in the world, but you got to score some runs if you're going to win games.
Yeah, and I don't know that they really strengthened the lineup here at the trade deadline. We'll find out. But I agree with Mike 100%. I don't know. We were talking about this the other night, and it just makes me wonder. Last year the last few years we talked about it's home run or strikeout, walk back to the dugout. This year, they're trying to be more contact hitters, and that's good, I think. I think we're seeing better hitters. We're seeing Kyle Schwarber with an average that's 50 points higher than it was. Brandon Marsh, the same. But now they can't put enough hits together to score a lot of runs. And the only nights they score runs is when they hit home runs. So philosophically, I don't like strikeouts. But I also don't like the fact that your pitcher gives up 2 runs and you can't win a ball game.
Yeah, they're just very inconsistent with the hitting, and you hope that they're going to get hot, and stay hot in September and carry it into the playoffs, because certainly didn't happen that way over the last 2 postseasons. The bats went cold at inopportune times.
Yeah, well, and across baseball, the averages are down. The hitting is down as a whole. So maybe when it comes time to play in the big games, it's going to be okay. But it seems like as soon as they get up against a decent pitching staff, they struggle. And they went against the White Sox, which was a very average pitching staff, and they didn't hit here in Chicago.
Yeah. Well, we just got to hope for the best. We'll see what the new lineup looks like with the new outfielder in tow. And hope the pitching continues to do well. And, it's going to be very interesting August and September for sure. Yeah. Bill, I got to tell you something. I never saw the movie Happy Gilmore until about 3 years ago. Okay. I felt like I got to see Happy Gilmore. So I watched it. And it was enjoyable. I think I gave it a B at the time. And now last week, 29 years after the original came out, Happy Gilmore 2 finally made it to the screen. There's a picture promo for it. Adam Sandler, back in the title role. There are so many cameos in this. There are like 30 plus cameos from the likes of, Travis Kelce to Post Malone. I could go on and on and on and on. Several current PGA golfers, Scotty Scheffler in it, Bryson DeChambeau, whatever his name is, Rory McIlroy, a bunch of current guys, and even some legends like Jack Nicklaus had tiny roles as well. So how was it? Well, I watched it last night, finished it up this morning, and it was okay. I mean, the first hour was actually very much on par with the original in terms of the number of laughs. I thought it kind of bogged down a bit over the last 40 minutes, got overly ridiculous with the competition or the effort to fight off this rival league, kind of like what the PGA is doing right now with Live Golf. The one in this one was called Maxi Golf. And it was kind of weird, kind of silly, as you would expect. Overall, if you like the first one, you'll probably at least enjoy much of this one. I'm going to give this one a B- if I'm generous.
If you're generous. Well,
if I'm generous. It's probably really a C+.
I'm going to watch it because I've heard all the buzz about it. I've heard some people say they laughed for 2 straight hours. And then I've heard some people say, I'm not a big Adam Sandler guy to begin with.
I'm not either.
And the only thing I really like about him is he's like best friends with Jennifer Aniston. I think that's probably pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
She was not in it, by the way.
Yeah, but, I'll probably watch it just because of the buzz about it. But I don't know that I have high hopes, if you will.
John Daly had a major role in it again. He's kind of living at Adam Sandler Gilmore's place.
Right.
So, yeah. Steve Buscemi, also a cameo. So many cameos. But who I'll tell you who was really good, Bad Bunny, the singer, the artist.
Yeah.
Really good as Adam Sandler's caddy in this movie.
Well, Bad Bunny is who's she related to? She married?
It's a he. It's a he.
Oh, I'm not thinking of the same person then.
It's a black artist. I don't know, Mexican, some kind of Latin American, but very popular artist. But hey, I know you did watch this, and so did I. The 2-part Billy Joel documentary on HBO and HBO Max. Billy Joel and So It Goes. Man, 5 hours. It was long, but we learned a lot about Billy Joel's terrific 50-year career.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, I actually enjoyed it. It was a little too long,
yeah.
But every song that popped up was great. And the thing about it is that I learned is that all those songs that he wrote that ended up being hits were all true life songs. That was his life. They were real things that were happening, all the way down to Piano Man, where he was having to play. He was playing in a bar under a different name.
Bill Martin, yeah.
And they were coming to see him play, and those guys sitting at the end of the bar were real people. The way that all played out, I thought was really cool.
So we learned a lot about a lot of the songs, the stories behind the songs. We learned about his 4 wives. Yeah, he's had 4 wives. I didn't realize his first wife was, so important to his career. She ended up being his career, manager.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I guess her brother was a manager then in the 80s. He ended up ripping Billy Joel off.
Took all his money. He took all his money. What did they say about Piano Man? He made like $7,700 or something ridiculous.
Yeah, something crazy.
But it's worth the watch. And
definitely, if you're a Billy Joel fan, definitely check it out.
I think you think these guys have all these piles of money and they're just all these wealthy guys. You don't see the grind that it took to get there. And Billy Joel's life has definitely been a grind.
Oh yeah, he's had battles with depression and drugs and alcohol
as a young kid.
Yeah. So you'll learn a lot about Billy Joel.
Definitely worth a watch though if you're sitting around and you don't have to watch all 5 hours at once.
Yeah. One last thing, Bill. Tomorrow is the birthday number 70 of a legend in Philadelphia radio in particular, Pierre Robert, turning 70 on Friday, August 1st. I've had the pleasure, obviously, there of meeting him numerous times over the years. I invited him to come on the show one time. He said yes, and then just kept avoiding the opportunity to actually do it. So, Pierre, I'll forgive you for that. You're a legend. Happy 70th, Pierre.
Oh, all right. You ready to wrap it up?
Wrap it up, Bill.
All right. Let's thank tonight's special guest, Chuck Brodsky, our sponsors, the Irish Rover Station House,
and Cat's Catering.
Cavs, Philly tailgates.
I thought you had this memorized, Bill.
I'm trying. I'm doing my best. PPCC 118 Raz Room. Hey, let's do it next Wednesday. We'll be back on schedule. We'll be back at home, and we'll make it all happen once again. What do you think? Go.
There
Phil.
you go. There
High
you go.
hopes, Philadelphia sports fans.
Go Phils.
Go.
I hope he had